Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here. We are talking about using floats, which is a CSS property that we can use for styling and getting objects to move to the left and right, as the name might imply to float. So here we go. To learn this, we are starting a new fork of this blank palette. I've already started here, and we'll call it Walrus. And so here we go. I like that. And we got it called Walrus. Let's not forget to organize all of our files. So I'll go to my dashboard and there's my new Walrus, and I'll throw that into my one. And then double click on it in order to jump back into it. Fantastic. Here we are. Blank palette all set up, and we are going to jump into this. Let me just duplicate this and put it up here so I can type at the same time. Finding a workspace that is most convenient for you is really key for maximizing some efficiency for your now. I'm looking at our code here, and we are starting with HTML, yup, and importing some basic body into this. I'm not wild about how Evernote has restyled some of this code. It's supposed to have a coding text, but it kind of reformats some of my stuff. So, okay, let's start off here. We are starting, of course, with our document type, and that doesn't get a closer, and we get our HTML tag starting with language, and that'll be English US. Fantastic. And of course that will have a closer, and that'll go at the end, and then we have our head. And we have our body. Yeah, great. And within our header, we're going to have a couple things. We're going to have our link, which is going to link up our style sheet. And our href for that, which we haven't created yet, is going to be CSS styles.css. And the type is text CSS. And you may have noticed that auto format that filled this out for me, it put our style sheet declaration in front of the href. That is fine. The order of these properties that exist within a tag, the order don't really matter here. So we could switch out that. The type could even be at the front of this, and that wouldn't really matter. Okay, great. And we're talking about our title next, and this will be called the Walrus. Strange and noble creature. Fantastic. Okay, so that's all of our header stuff. I'm going to save it. And while we're at it, let's create that style sheet. So I'll create my CSS folder, and within that, I'll create a file that is styles.css. Fantastic, which shouldn't have anything in it quite yet. All right, cool. And now we are looking at the body. Now the body only has a couple things in it. It has an image, and we're actually gonna get our own source here, and I'm gonna show you how to get it. And then we'll have an alternate tag, which of course is what comes up if our link or our image is broken, and is what's read for accessibilities for people who are blind or have reading impairment. Walrus basket, a rock. Well, we'll just say it's a walrus because I'm not sure what our image is going to be quite yet. Okay, and then we have a paragraph, and you know what? Because this paragraph is almost all lorem ipsum except for the first sentence, the world's just a majestic animal. I'm just going to copy and paste that because writing out like nonsense code is really challenging. All right, so fantastic, wonderful. We save it. We look at this and see what it looks like at this moment. Oh yes, and of course we don't have our image quite yet. So let's go find that because I want to show how to do that. One of my favorite places to go is Unsplash, unsplash.com. They're really great and free, and when you do publish websites and stuff, they're happy to let you do that, and you just have to give proper kudos to the authors of those pictures. So let's see here, because we're just practicing right now. We don't have to do that. And let's look for a picture of a walrus. Well, there are a couple of walruses, walrus, I don't know. So there are a couple of ways to do this. You can download it. You can look at different ones. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the image in a new tab in order to do this as a link. Yeah, and then I'm going to grab this URL. I'm going to copy that, Command C, and then I'm going to go back in here, and in this src, I'm going to paste it. Fantastic. Now, if I save that, let's see what we got here. We should, with any luck, yeah, we have our picture of our walrus. And just to see what this really looks like as a full website, I'm going to open this up, boom, in a new window. And as you can see, of course, we have our picture and we have our content right below it, as is the order here. And if I put this paragraph up in front of the image, then it will go after, just to show you that, just so you believe. And although I'm sure you do, I save it. I go here, refresh. Maybe it has a float on it. No, what's going on? It doesn't look right. Body. This doesn't have a close on it. Why? Weird, I must have deleted that at some point. Anyway, sorry about that. So there it is. And now, of course, we have the paragraph on top and image on bottom. I don't know how I lost that guy, but I did. All right, fantastico. And now, what if, though, you wanted the paragraph stuff on the right and the image on the left? Well, we can use floats to do that, and we're going to float the image either to the left or right, and then all the content will kind of like work its way around that. And let's also, while we're at it, take a look at resizing this image. So we'll do both of those things. Fantastic. I moved it back so that the image is on top, paragraphs to the bottom, and let's give this guy a class. We don't even need to give him a class. We'll just use his image tag. So we'll use an img, and we'll go in here and just apply this to all images, because we know we're only using one image. And we're going to do a float this guy to the right. Fantastic. Save it. Let's go over here, and I refresh it. Boom. Yeah, now it's to the right, and this and all the words are on the left. And if I wanted to go the other way, I could just float it to the left, and all the content would kind of work its way around that. Now, I'm not really wild about the size of this here. Let's say that we wanted this width like a lot smaller, and I think that the content even goes there. Let's see here. Did we miss anything? Oh, it does it in the sidebar. I'll just do this really quick because I want to. So go back to my boom, and let's say we want our width to be more like 20% of a page, like a fifth, and I save it. Boom, and that would be a fifth of the viewing width here. And so I refresh it here. Boom. And now it's much smaller, and we have this, of course, float to the left going on, which is why that jumped over to the left here and made it smaller. And the 20%, when you work with percentages, that's kind of cool because check it out, it resizes, because it'll just stay 20% of this whole width, a fifth of the whole width, and so that's kind of cool. All right. Now, let us jump into our second mode of business in the curriculum we're talking about. All right, so we're going to add this, a little bit of content onto our website and make a sidebar, so something that kind of like appears like on the side of our website here, kind of like what's going on here with our Unit 1 HTML, like a sidebar thing. And we'll do it with this content. So going back to our code here in index, this is going to be at the top of the body, and so we are talking about adding, a header sounds like a good idea, and that'll be all about, well, this is wonderful. And we'll start a div. Now this div is going to have our sidebar, so we'll even give it that class name of a sidebar, bar. Fantastic. And we're going to give a little h2 title in there, IRL, and a paragraph saying want to see walruses in real life, question mark. Here are some places to check out. And then we'll give a little smiley face at the end of our paragraph. All right, fantastic. And then the places to check out are going to be a list. So we'll start an unordered list. And we have a couple list items, and those list items are going to be the beach. We're also going to be able to visit the ocean, and you could also check them out at the bay. Oh, did I want one more? And you could also check them out at rocks. See small versus on rocks, I guess. Okay, great. And let's see here. We could, just to see the two main divs going on here. So we have our title. So just to see this page, like in our body, we have our title. We have our sidebar that we're going to style out, and then we have our main page, which we'll class. Okay, give it a class of main. And then all of this, that picture and the paragraph of Lone Ipsum, will go there. And so that all, let me get rid of this here. Boom. And so, so this all fits in that div. This is our main stuff. And then this is going to be our sidebar that we're about to style out here. Right now it's not styled as a sidebar, so it's just going to appear on top. Yup, like this. And we got our little picture and all that stuff, and we're gonna style that out so that is a sidebar. So the way we're going to do that is styling it as like a column. So you can think of it, what we're going to do is we're going to give it a float to the right, and we're going to make the width of it 30%. Yup. And so it's going to be 30%. Let's see here. So our sidebar is going to have these three things. Yup. With the 30%, it's going to float to the right. Oh, and we'll give it a color background, a background color as well. Very nice. So we're going to save this, make sure that's saved. Go to our styles. Now image has been styled, but we're talking about the thing that we did, .sidebar. And I like to keep these also in order of type. So I keep all the primaries together. I keep all the like tags, everything, images, p, etc. together there, and then all the classes together, and then all the IDs together, which we haven't talked about. We talked about that. So so in the sidebar, we said we want to give it a float to the right, FLOAT, and we're going to give that to the right. Very good. See what that does. Boom. So now the IRL stuff, this is to the right. We're going to say the width is 30%. Save that, see what that looks like. Okay, so now that's keeping it at 30% over there, everything else on the left. And then background color, we said yellow. Clip, not what I want, COR, is yellow. Save it. Okay, so now we got a highlighted thing here. Not bad, not bad. We would like a little padding and some other things going on here, but I don't believe we've studied that. Oh, that's coming up here at Box Model in a second. If you're like, hey, that's too much on, I'm just going to give it to it, so this sneak preview. Let's give it some padding here so that the text isn't just right up against the yellow, and that's called padding, and we'll give that, I don't know, 5 pixels. Save it. Gives it a little bit of room. If you can see what, I'll give it 10 pixels. So we can more see what's going on. It gives it that little space so that the words aren't right up against it. We could do so on the outside too, but we'll just leave it at that. You're about to get into the box model. So, all right, fantastic. That was really cool. So what we did is we created a column ultimately by making that sidebar 30% and then floated it to the right. Yep, and so everything else is forced to the left of it. Of course, the title above everything else. That's why the title even starts before this. Yep, fantastic. That looks a little bit better. Let's see what that looks like here. Boom. Not bad. Starting to get an idea of like how we might style things a bit better. Still pretty ugly, honestly, but we'll get into even better styling here with the box model soon. So, let's start one more file, and we're going to call that columns. Okay, we will call this columns, and we're told that we can just copy and paste this code here because it's mostly lorem ipsum. We'll take a look at what's going on at it with it, and then play with it here. There we go. Save it. Lovely. All right, so check it out. We have a document declaration. We got our HTML opener. We got our head, which has the link for our style sheet. The title, which appears up there. We got our H1, that's our title. And then we got a couple things going on here. A div called column that has a big paragraph of lorem ipsum, and then 2 of them, and then a third one that look very similar. Yep. Okay. So we save this and look at that. That's exactly what we'll see right here, I think. Yep. Title and then 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. Fantastic. Now, in order to turn these into columns, this is what we're going to do. Let's create a new file here, or folder, and then inside that folder, we'll of course create our CSS styles.css. Oh, missed that. There it is. And then we're going to target those. Again, remember we called that class columns, so I'm going to grab that new column here. Just I don't want to. Let's get. Geez, can I just get rid of that real quick? Great. And it's a class, so it gets a period at the top. Boom. And this is what we're going to do. It's just for all 3 of them, we're going to determine their width, okay, so that they're all 30%. Oh, they did 300 pixels, but you could do, well, you could do it a bunch of ways, but we'll do it, sure, 300 pixels because that's what it says. And then we will also do a float so that they appear as columns, because as of right now, this just makes them skinny, right? So if we looked at this, booyah, what we got is some skinny columns. We can make them even skinnier. Boom. We could even make them skinnier. Silly. Now, if we wanted to make them, now this is still just one on top of the other on top of the other. If I want 1, 2, 3 stacked next to each other, give them a float, right? And we'll float to the left. Why not? Boom. Save it. And now if we look, it's kind of small to see that there. If I refresh it here, boom, now we have those 1, 2, 3 columns. Excellent. And those were the two things we wanted to talk about here, specifically floats, and then how you can use floats in order to get images to move around and things to move around them, and then of course how you can use floats to make columns like we just did. All right, happy coding.